Today, we're jumping into a really powerful story from the Bible, one about finding hope when it feels like everything, and I mean everything, is lost. The whole idea is right here in the title. Take courage. God is not done with you.
Now we're going to start in a kind of unusual place, right at the heart of the message, with a promise that was given in the middle of a total crisis. This is from the book of Acts, chapter 27. An angel shows up and tells the Apostle Paul, "Do not be afraid, Paul. God has graciously given you the lives of all who sail with you." We're starting with the answer because, trust me, it's the anchor you need to hold on to for the chaos that's about to unfold.
And this story is so incredibly relevant. I mean, think about it. Have you ever felt like this? Trapped in some kind of storm? Maybe it's a financial storm, a health crisis, a relationship falling apart, where it feels like there was absolutely no way out. Paul's story, it speaks directly to that feeling. Okay, so the first part of this journey is all about how things went from perfectly calm to complete and utter chaos. This section's called Hope is Lost.
You know, it all started so deceptively well. The Bible says, a gentle south wind began to blow, so they set sail. Everybody on board probably thought, hey, we've got this. They believed they had the perfect conditions, that everything was under their control. A smooth, easy beginning.
But that feeling of control, it just vanished in an instant. Out of nowhere, a wind of hurricane force, what they called a northeaster, just swept down on them. In a single moment, their perfect sailing day turned into an absolute life-threatening disaster.
And just like that, they lost all command. The ship was caught by the storm and was just driven along. They couldn't steer, they couldn't fight it. They were completely and totally at the mercy of the wind and the waves.
So panic takes over. They start doing desperate things, right? First, they're throwing the ship's cargo overboard to try and lighten the load. Then, the next day, they're even throwing the ship's essential equipment, the tackle, overboard with their own hands. They were trying anything and everything to save themselves.
And this is where it gets even worse. This plunged them into this deep, dark despair. For days on end, they couldn't see the sun or the stars. Think about that. Total darkness, completely disoriented, with absolutely no way to navigate. And the storm just kept raging. So after days of this violent battering and relentless darkness, they hit their breaking point. The Bible puts it so bluntly. They finally gave up all hope of being saved. Every human effort had failed. As far as they were concerned, it was over. But right at that moment of total, absolute hopelessness, everything changes. This is a message in the night. This is the turning point. Paul stands up among this terrified, hopeless crew and shares a message he got. He says, "Last night an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve stood beside me and said, 'Do not be afraid.'" Can you imagine? In the darkest moment, a word of hope cuts right through the noise of the storm.
And here it is. This is the core truth of this entire story. What did that message from God actually reveal? It revealed that the storm, no matter how violent, no matter how terrifying, could not cancel God's purpose. God had a plan for Paul, and that plan was going to happen, storm or no storm.
So what does this mean for us? Let's really break it down. Lesson 1. God is in control.
This is how this ancient story connects right to your life today. First, storms reveal our limits. The sailors did everything they could think of, but it wasn't enough. Second, even when we've totally lost control, God never has. He never loses his grip. And finally, and this is so key, no trial you face can stop God's purpose for your life. His plan is always bigger than your storm. But the story doesn't end with just Paul's personal assurance. That message wasn't only for him, which brings us to lesson number 2, spreading courage. Look at this number, 276. That's how many people were on that ship. And God's promise, the one he delivered through Paul, was that every single one of them would be saved. One person's faith became the anchor for hundreds of other people. So why does this matter so much? Because your faith isn't just for you. It's designed to have this ripple effect. So often, God places believers right in the middle of a messy, difficult situation, not to punish them, but to use them as a source of hope for everybody else. Your calm presence and your faith in a storm can be the very thing that helps someone else find God.
Okay, so how do we actually apply this? How do we live this out? Well, that brings us to our final super practical section, your storm survival guide.
Here it is, a practical game plan in 4 clear steps. Step 1,
Remind yourself constantly, maybe every hour, that God is in control, especially when it doesn't feel like it. Step 2. Remember His promises from the Bible. They are your anchor. Step 3. Share your courage. Don't hoard it for yourself. It's meant to be given away. And step 4. Make a conscious choice to speak words of faith, not words of fear.
If you walk away with only one idea from this entire explainer, let it be this one. God's purpose holds steady in every single storm. Your circumstances do not get to define His plan for you.
And that leaves us with one final word: courage. Not a courage that comes from our own strength, because we know that fails, but a courage that's rooted in the unshakable truth that God's purpose will always prevail. He is not done with you.